was Ash Cash, the financial motivator, and you are now tuned in to the Blowing Bubbles podcast. Guess what, y'all? Stay popping. Let's go.
What's up? What's up? What's poppin'? Hey, it's your girl Karonna Hosey. Hello. Welcome. Tune in. Let's get these views up. Give me a share. What's going on this evening? Hello, it is August 23rd. Hello, Mr. Will Brown. Thank you. Thank you for joining us again. Good evening. Give us a share. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, give me a share to your social platforms. I am getting started. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna make sure this thing is shared out on my social platform. So give me a hot second. Make sure this thing is out there. Yes. How's everybody doing this evening? Oh man, my phone is about a little bit low on battery. Evening. Yes, sir. All right. So in case you haven't guessed it, it is K Solo tonight. What's up, you guys? How was your week? My week has been interesting thus far. A little bit tired, a little bit drained. But y'all see that merch? Stay merched up. Hold on, let me get you a quick look. BBP, Blowing Bubbles Podcast. I stay on brand. The merch store is coming soon. I am looking forward to being able to share that with you. I have been developing merchandise. It is coming soon. I've got a lot of exciting things that have been happening. I am now the keynote speaker for a retreat coming up. Woo! This year has been so amazing. It's all about manifesting the life you want, for real. It's incredible. It's incredible. I can't even hardly believe how things are happening. A lot of good stuff coming my way. What's going on with you all? I am trying to watch Facebook too. Y'all know how it is. Solopreneur. So we're going to talk real estate, the housing crisis that is going on. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. We're going to talk real estate. I hope you all engage with me and ask questions. I don't know what you don't know or what you want to know. I have some talking points, but I'm here for it. I have a little bit of a unique kaleidoscope of experience and insights. So I might be able to help you out. If you're out there, if you know someone who's wanting to buy as a homeowner or wanting to invest, let's talk about it. I want to take you through a trip of my podcasting journey as well and talk about some of the experiences that I've had, some of the impact that we have been able to have with this platform. The Blowing Bubbles podcast is literally making a difference in people's lives. And that is what I'm doing it for. We talk about bubbles, and yes, I will literally blow bubbles, but that is really just a coping mechanism because it's fun, it's cheap, and it literally calms me down. You can't blow bubbles and be mad at the same time, so you should try it too. Go to the Dollar Tree, get you some dollar bottle of bubbles. I think for $1 you can get 2 bottles. Calm your nerves. It calms the kids, and it's cheap. We're going to talk about what is up next. For me, I want to hear what you all have going on. We are in the third quarter of the year. What have you done? What do you still want to do? What can I help you do? I'm an idea machine. Let's get it. I want to see everybody win. I really do. And I can't do everything. That's why I love to share my ideas and my thoughts and my insights and experiences. Because if I can just help you do something what you're doing, and I didn't have to do it, I just gave you some information, that's a win. That's a whole win. So if you actually know me in real life, you know that I'm this way all the time. I love to share. I love to help people. So yeah, that's why my life is so full and so rich because I just love people. All right. Now, let's start with my podcast journey. What I'm going to do is look at some of the episodes that I've had and talk to you about those experiences. I started last year with this journey, and I was in Las Vegas before Vegas, but I had been collecting a lot of information and doing interviews, and I lost all my stuff, everything in about February. I had all these files, which is why I started doing live. That wasn't the reason why I started doing lives, but yeah. But an interview that I did with this gentleman in Las Vegas was very interesting to me. He was if you're familiar with the Las Vegas Strip, he was singing on the bridge that crosses from the Wynn Hotel to the Fashion Show Mall. And beautiful voice. He had a microphone set up and a portable speaker. And he had a beautiful voice, but he was kind of rough looking. And he had a really interesting story. And that right there. Hey, Juva. Oh my gosh. Hey, sis. Um, yeah, this young man had a really interesting story. He was living out of a hotel, so he would get out there on the strip every day and sing just to earn enough money to pay for that hotel to stay in. He was a very interesting story. All of these you got to go back and watch. They're all on my podcast, Blowing Bubbles Podcast YouTube channel. Um, and I can't remember his name. One of the things that happened last year, and I think it was today, 1 year ago exactly today, I was having a birthday dinner with my girl, Queen Afton. Hey, Maria Wheeler. My homegirl is always on point, you guys. She shares, she shows up and she shares. Thank you so much. You all, I appreciate you sharing while we are live. That would be amazing. But yeah, I was having dinner with some friends of mine at this country club, and I was we were walking in the door. They gave us like this all access tour around this country club, and so after we got the golf cart tour, we were coming back to the clubhouse to have dinner, and we're walking in, and these three very well dressed black men walked past us, and I said, "Excuse me, what do you all do?" I just wanted to know what they did for a living. And they said, "We have an electric car company." I said, "Really?" And I put my phone up in their face. I said, "Can we do an interview?" And that interview right there started this journey. Derek Automotive, I'm now part of their family. Like they call me like their ambassador. Um, I posted it on TikTok. I shared it everywhere, but on TikTok it got like 180 or 138,000 views. And they were calling me, and now they include me in a lot of stuff that they do. So that was pretty cool. But that is one of the things that started me to doing this and helped me to not be intimidated and just talk to people, because I'm quiet. I don't really talk to a lot of people that I don't know. And that is how I started to just not be scared to just walk up to anybody, because I just ask these guys what they do. So that helped me. That's a big, Derek Automotive is a very, very big part of my podcasting journey, and I will always show those guys love. I'm actually an affiliate. So anybody in the market for an electric car, electric truck, they do have electric tow trucks and semi trucks. I'm an affiliate. So holla at me. I will hook you up. And yes, for the record, I will be compensated for any purchase you do through me. But yes, Derek Automotive, Derek. Yes. Hey, Devin, what's up, boy? Who else was kind of instrumental in my podcast journey? One of my favorite interviews. I can't even say a favorite. I had some, I'm looking through my list now. There was one that you guys called out. A lot of people called this guy out, but nobody said it on the live, and you came to me. Feel free, if we're ever doing a live on my platform and you suspect my guest is full of it, man, be respectful, please and thank you, but call him out. This guy was lying through his teeth, and I didn't want to dig in because I do pre-interviews with my guests. He said one thing during the pre-interview and said a whole different thing, and y'all called it out. People were DMing me, texting me, calling me, but nobody said anything during the episode. So by all means, challenge people, because I don't want anybody to come back and say I endorsed anybody that was on some crap. DJ Thump was a fun video. Trent. Oh man, Trent Out Loud. If you're not familiar with Trent Out Loud, he and I had a really, really, really fun interview. You guys got to go to my YouTube channel and check these out. So Trent is this young man. I met him at Charlemagne's podcast conference. And he had all these books in his arms, and he's struggling to carry these books. And I said, "What's the books? Can I see your books?" He's like, yeah, I'm trying to get to Charlemagne. I said, "Oh, so I'm nobody?" And that made him stop. And so he was like, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm just trying to get my book to Charlemagne. So we were talking, and Trent has written a book called How Sneakers Saved My Life. And in this book, Trent takes you on a journey telling you how he went from, now he had a successful modeling career. He had a music management company. He almost signed Drake before, when he was still Aubrey. He had no clue that like a year or two later, Drake was going to be who Drake turned out to be. But yes, he has some very interesting stories. My interview with him was very fun, very fun. And that book is really, really good. I recommend it. How Sneakers Saved My Life. This brother went from bankrupt. He had $3.52 in the bank. He is now worth a liquid $100 million. Very inspiring story. I encourage you to tap into Trent Out Loud. Yes. Another interview that a lot of you responded well to was Dad, I Love You. And that was Mr. I Am. I Am called me about 10:30, 11 o'clock last week, or a week or so ago. And I thought it was strange to call that late. But this man, if you watch the episode, he talked about, he wrote a book called Dad, I Love You, How to Love an Absent Father. And in the book and in the episode, he talks about his 10 years in prison and how he was able to come to grips with his lack of a relationship with his biological father. But he also talks about the book was his journey to healing and being able to love his father who wasn't there, but also his desire to reconnect with his son. And it was really a journey for him to reconnect with his son. So somehow his son's grandmother got a copy or saw him on the Blowing Bubbles podcast. She sent her daughter the episode. The daughter watched the episode and then called him. Now, this man's been in prison for 10 years. He's not been out a whole year. He's only been out a few months. And then I found him. I don't even remember how we connected. But yes, he reconnected with his son's mother and then his son because of the Blowing Bubbles podcast. That is by far my favorite story, simply because real life transformation happened just from a conversation. So I want everybody to make sure, if you have a compelling story and situation that you need help talking through, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. We're changing lives. I'm committed to that journey. I went to Miami a couple weeks ago. I met one man there his podcast is called Raising a Queen. So as we're recording on the episode, because I took all my stuff there and we did an interview, he revealed that his show was about his daughter who passed away last year. And then he started talking about she had lupus and her doctors told her that she never would have a child. Well, before she died, she had a baby. And I mean, it was a very touching episode. Make sure you go and check that one out too. There's just so many things. I'm looking through my my lists and we have a good time. We have a good time here. Another lady I met, she's got a show. Hers is the Black Art Mom. She teaches art. She homeschools her children, but she teaches art, and she also is involved in helping mothers who are breastfeeding. And she wrote a book about breastfeeding. And she revealed while we were recording that her son, she said, well, my son, she called it sunset 1,281 days ago. So just know when you're in this space, a lot of time, especially when you're doing live interviews, a lot of people will say things that you have to be on your toes. You don't know what's going to come out of somebody's mouth. And you got to be ready. One of the most profound, the most profound moments that I had in Miami was one young lady I was talking to. I had my camera in her face and I have this little bitty microphone. Unbeknownst to me, the microphone was not on. So I haven't shared it because I caught the whole thing on video, but did not have any sound. But anyway, talking to this young lady, and her daughter kept texting her. Now we're all far away from our families at this point, but her daughter is 22 years old. Her daughter she was a twin. The twin sister passed away. At 4 months old, both twins needed a heart transplant. They received new hearts. The other one lived, I forget how long. She lived about 13 months, I believe she said. The one surviving twin is now 22 years old. And I'm talking to this lady about how remarkable it is and possibly a record, because transplanted organs don't typically last that long. Hey, Drina, what's up, sis? So in talking to her, she starts, getting emotional. And she's like, my daughter doesn't feel like she's living a fulfilled life. She doesn't have any friends. She can't participate in a lot of activities because of her condition and her she just has no friends. She's very lonely, and she's grateful, but she feels left out a lot of times. And I wasn't prepared for what happened next. A lady literally interrupted me during my recording this lady and said, "I'm sorry, I can't take it anymore. I heard your story. I heard your daughter. Your baby has a friend now. Here's my daughter. She also had a heart transplant." And everybody's hugging and crying, and it was the most magical thing to experience. I had to cut the camera off. I still didn't know in that moment that it wasn't recording sound. But for me to be standing there talking to this lady, took her out of her zone we were at a podcast conference, took her out of that zone and brought her into a personal and vulnerable space to talk about her child and what her struggle was as a mother. And she's exactly, look at God. And then this lady overheard, and this lady is standing right here, and she had the same testimony. Basically, she understood what it was like. So the girl can have somebody, they each now have each other. Blowing Bubbles podcast is making a difference, y'all. I want to always drive that home. We are making a difference. It's like not anything that I expect. I never knew that I would have those type impacts on people's lives. And that's what I was so tired. I literally had to take a nap, and I woke up 10 minutes before. Full transparency. I literally got up 10 minutes before, and I was thinking of every reason to not do an episode tonight. And then I think about people like that. Y'all matter to me, whether I have a guest or not, whether anybody jumps on the live with me. This matters. It's going to get bigger. It's going to have more of an impact, but Blowing Bubbles podcast is here to make a difference. My mission statement is surviving motherhood through sisterhood while finding balance and building legacies. Just know I'm here for every bit of that. My sisters, I got y'all. I survived motherhood. I've been through every imaginable scenario. Not every. My child didn't have a heart transplant or anything like that, but I've seen a lot. And I'm on the other side of it. I'm now a proud nana of 5 babies. So I got a lot. I have a lot to share, and I want to connect the dots. I want to be a resource for people who need it and don't know where to go, don't know what direction to look in. So BBP, y'all. Yes. So for those of you who just tuned in, we're going to talk. I'm sharing my journey through podcasting, some of the things that made me get started, some of the things that I've experienced along the way, and the direction that I would like to go in. And we will also be talking some real estate. There's a lot of people who still don't know a lot of things about the market, and a lot of people get themselves into situations that are not very favorable to them. So I want to help people through that. I have some resources that sometimes I can connect people, and I want to make sure that people get connected with the right situations. And also I want to say that if you're having trouble and you're telling me you're in a dire situation and I tell you to call me and you take a week to call me, man, your situation doesn't seem that dire to me, because I'll forget. If I tell you today to call me and you take a week, and that kind of just happened. So yeah. Any questions about anything so far? Because I'm ready to dig into this real estate. I would rather ask any question or answer questions than to kind of freestyle it, but we're gonna get in it. Has anybody else noticed that there are fewer and fewer people purchasing homes, and the homes are being bought by investors by and large? I want to encourage anybody who wants to buy a house, do not be afraid of whatever the interest rate is. Do not put it off. The market, people who are kind of ignorant to what the business really is, they were pushing fear last year and everybody was talking about there's going to be a crash. No, it's not. No, housing market is nowhere near a crash. Um, and business 101, inventory, supply and demand drives pricing, and inventory is still dangerously low. So pricing is going to remain, if nothing else, stable. Prices are not where they were last year because of interest rates, and people got scared. So they stopped buying, because if I looked at a house today at 3% interest rate, and I'm able to get a $500,000 house, then I waited, and then next month my interest rate would be 6. I can only get a $300,000 house now. So people who waited for the crash that these internet gurus told them, that had never had a license, never sold anything, never helped anybody sell anything. They might have bought a house themselves. Y'all stop listening to the wrong people. Buy a house. If you're eligible to buy a house, buy a house. There are programs. As a real estate broker who is very, very, very passionate about, hey, Rocky, what's up, my baby? As a real estate professional who is very passionate about what I do, I go the extra mile to support my clients. I know where the money is at. I've gotten somebody a $60,000 down payment assistance. You just got to work with the right agent. Georgia has about 50,000 licensed agents. We are not all created equal, for the record. Everybody who can pass the test that means nothing. That just means they learned how to not break the law. That's all they teach you in real estate school. I'm a student of my craft and I love it. I've been a participant in the real estate game for over 20 years. So yes, the market is not going to crash. Interest rates might come back down a little bit, but don't wait. So there are programs that you can get no money down, like NACA, NACA.org, National Association of Community something, Nancy Apple, Charlie Apple.org. Look them up. I want to see everybody buying a house. Even if you're not my client, I want to see all my people owning a home. There are a lot of organizations, but with NACA, you don't have to put anything down. They pay down payment and closing costs. The only thing you come up with is the home inspection, maybe the appraisal, but for about $1,000. And that's another thing I want to emphasize. If you have a VA loan, that does not mean you do not need money to buy a house. And don't take it out on the professionals, the lender or the realtor, when you get your, disappointed. So what that means is the VA loan is a 100% finance. So if you buy a house for $300,000, they will finance the whole $300,000. You still have to pay closing costs, which is attorney's fees, title registration, title insurance, appraisal costs, any taxes, HOA, anything, any miscellaneous charge that wraps up into that. If you buy a house tomorrow, if you close tomorrow, which is August 24th, you have to pay the taxes on for the year from August 24th through December 31st. So you still will have taxes for this current year on that house, and that has to be paid the day of closing. So yes, there will still be closing costs, even if you have a USDA or a VA loan, which are 100% financing. That just means no money down. Down payment is only one portion of the upfront costs associated with the purchase of a home. So a lot of people misunderstand that. I've literally had buyers get mad at me like I didn't know what I was doing, or the lender that I referred them to didn't know what they were doing. Shop around and hear the same thing 15 times. So the only program that I know that you don't pay down payment or closing costs is NACA. NACA can be slow to act. NACA can take, I've closed NACA sales that took the buyer like 18 months. So if you're in a hurry, don't go to NACA. Save your money. Stop eating out, stop shopping, stay the heck off of Amazon and Shein, and stay out of Foot Locker and wherever else you spend your money. Stop going to brunch. Yep, that's that. There is definitely a housing crisis, and anybody who's paying attention the way that I pay attention, you'll see all over the city. And I haven't really looked in other cities, even though I'm licensed in multiple states. But Atlanta, you see more and more of these hotels popping up and more storage facilities. I don't want to see my people shepherded into or funneled into these weekly hotel situations. And understand those things cost more than just paying your rent somewhere. But that's what a lot of people get trapped into. And when you get in, once you have to go to a weekly because you don't have anywhere else to go, you are almost, man, it's so hard to get out. It's so hard to get out. But I keep watching and watching and watching, and there's more and more people. So investors are coming in, they're driving up the cost of rent. And then you got to make 3 times the rent to get to be eligible to rent the house. So if the rent is $2,200 a month, how many of y'all make $6,600 a month? And it's happening. And all they're doing is going in, putting some vinyl flooring in, slapping gray and white paint up everywhere, and $2,200. That seems like the magic number. Old houses, new house, whatever. And a lot of the investors are working directly with builders. So they're building whole subdivisions of brand new homes to rent out. Can't afford it, can't beat them out in a bidding war against the seller who just wants the most money for the least amount of headache. You'll be in one of these hotels. A lot of people came to me, or they talked to me about buying a house, and then they decided not to, and they decided to wait. Oh, I've been in my house 10 years. Me and my landlord have a good relationship. And then turn around and the landlord decided they want to capitalize on the equity in the home, and they sold the home. Now you got to get out. You got 60 days to get out, and you can't afford to move anywhere now. So the interest rate is not the scariest thing. If you're eligible to buy, buy. If you're not eligible to buy because your credit is challenged right now, get into a program, fix your credit, and purchase a home. If you start working on your credit tomorrow, by this time next year, you can be in a home. I'm getting ready to start back up my buyer workshops and my seller workshops. A lot of people who bought a home, they've only bought one home before, so they've never had an experience in selling a home. What is the state of the balloon or adjustable mortgages? That's a question. Okay, thank you, Mr. Brown. So most of those products have gone away. And I'm glad you brought that point up. The best thing you can do is to have a realtor. Hey, Kenny, the best thing you can do is have a realtor who understands the financing. If you don't have an agent who has a good working relationship with the lender and you just go to your bank, I'll touch on that too. Don't let me forget to talk to you guys about the difference between the bank lenders and other lenders. You need an agent who's informed enough to help you through that part. As your agent, if you come to me as your agent, you will not have to divulge any of your information. I don't know how much money you have in the bank. I don't know what your credit score is. I don't know any of that unless you tell me. Your lender is legally not allowed to tell me any of that. So sometimes I've had people who didn't want to work with somebody that they know because they were not wanting people in their business or whatever. Okay. Somebody's going to know. You're going to give somebody the commission. So what else? If you don't talk to me about different things, and it can be high level. If you don't talk to me about different things, I don't know what to help you with. I'm that agent that knows enough to be dangerous in any aspect of this industry, like literally any aspect of this industry. So having the right loan product matters. After the crash, the collapse of the housing market in 2008, the industry shifted from balloon mortgages. Primarily, only investor loans have that adjustable arm. So the balloon, this is why we won't have a crash again, a housing crash, because those products went away. What was happening is if you have the income to support a $500 a month mortgage, you'd get approved and you'd buy this house. Well, 2 years later, you'd get hit with the balloon payment. Now your payment tripled. So your income didn't triple in that 2 years, but now your payment is like $1,500 a month. So that's what was happening with the balloon mortgages. And that's why dang near every other house in the country was foreclosed between 2008 and 2010. So those went away. Ms. Brown, I hope that answered your question. What's that? Work on your credit tomorrow and you can be in your home by this time next year. Thank you for reinforcing what I said. Yes. Lenders don't typically offer that though. If you're not an investor buying a property that you don't live in, then you're not going to get that type of loan. You can also buy an investment property, but you have to live in it. So if you bought like a duplex, or you can buy up to a 4-unit, live in one of them for a year under FHA. Federal Housing Administration will finance a loan with 3.5% down. So understand that it's still a down payment, but even if you bought a house, some of you get tax refunds. If you're still getting a tax refund, you have zero reason to not buy. I've heard of people getting as much as a $10,000 tax return. You can buy a lot of house with that. Yeah. So take that money, purchase a house, and let's get it. Let's get it. Oh man. Okay. Any other questions with the housing? I'm just rambling because I don't even know where to go. I do know I'm paying attention to all the storage and hotel facilities going up, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And I'm all for multi-generational situation. You know, if family members can live cooperatively and, you know, like other cultures do, man, buy that house together. Fix up the basement, or buy a house that has a finished basement. You stay down here, I'll stay up here, and we can have our privacy. But make it happen. You know, minimize the barriers to home ownership. But I am definitely going to start up my workshop. I've been asked too many times to start doing workshops. And I'm going to include in my seller workshops a maintenance and building portion where I'll teach basic tips on how to touch up certain things. Some people, when I go to list their house, they have holes in the wall or, small things. So I'm going to teach some of those things. And as a person who is my buyer client gets closer to purchasing, I'm going to do a workshop for that set of people to be able to learn about different maintenance things, changing the filter, checking the temperature on your water heater, draining the water heater annually, just giving you a blueprint for that maintenance schedule, the different things that will help you to make your house take care of you for the duration. So those are some things. Anybody interested in that? And it can be virtual. It's going to be virtual. So anybody, well, the home buyer and seller workshops will be virtual. So you can be anywhere in the world. If you want to sign up, you can go just join my mailing list or send me a message on my website, blowingbubblespodcast.com, and register. You don't have to register yet. Well, you can't register yet because I haven't scheduled one. But just sign my mailing list and I will 100% send you a link when I do the video. It's going to be fun because this is what I love to do. I love educating people, especially on something that I'm passionate about. And if you desire to be a real estate agent, probably shouldn't. I'm going to say that. It's like the Hunger Games, y'all. But anybody who wants to be an agent, I also am. I've been told I'm a pretty good coach. So I'm the agent's agent. I've coached some people to some pretty successful careers. So yes, your girl is launching a real live real estate school. That is big news. That was just a drop. It's happening. Real estate school coming. Y'all heard it here first. So yeah, you'll be able to get continuing education credits from my courses, as well as pre-licensure and broker license. So yes. Thank you so much, Juba. Thank you. Yeah, life is amazing, man. I stay working. That's why I was so tired. I stay tired, but I love it. I'm excited. I'm not running from any of it. And my next big chapter is going to be international. I started to do it last year, but I had too much other stuff going on. International is coming. So y'all look out for that. I'll be slinging real estate on the beach. Got a big opportunity, and I'm not going to divulge it, but it's coming. It's coming. And anybody wanting to, this is another thing I'm working to put together. Anybody wanting to do a, syndication. So I'm putting together a collaborative group of people interested in investing. And what it does is it lowers the threshold for investing. You don't have the money to buy a $300,000 house. Well, if 20 of us come together and pool our resources, now we have a syndicate to move everybody forward. The whole idea is to really make an impact in the community and make the changes that truly break cycles of poverty. I want to start having interest meetings via Zoom or something like that, so that I can see who truly is serious and where their head is at. I'm still developing the questionnaire, but that is something that I want to let people know it is going to be available. And the only, I won't say the only requirement, but it's going to be something that is going to be available to everybody who passes the integrity test. That's a must. I don't deal with janky folks at all. So yes, yes. Let's be thinking that. And any ideas that you might have that you don't know where to turn, um, hit me up. Hit me up. I think everybody on here has personal access to me. Um, so you guys can hit me up. I always have people selling investment opportunities, distressed properties, and things like that. They're not going to be the types of deals that were available 10 years ago. Um, they, I mean, it can be a total flip and they still want $200,000 for it, or a total renovation. So decide your threshold. But with the right renovations, I could probably sell it for 500. And I'm writing a book on how to renovate a whole house for next to nothing. I did finish one book. I finished the ebook. I don't know when I'm going to release it. I might just let y'all have it for being loyal watchers. But it's called Six Figures to, or wait a minute, 10 Steps to Six Figures in Real Estate. So it's a journey for agents. I am, like I said, I coach agents. And yeah, I'm teaching agents the blueprint. I'm giving a game, even though nobody really gave me game. I had to find it. Everywhere else in my life, people have always freely helped me and given me. Not this game here, baby. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. But I'm not, I don't see my career being in the place of straight sales. I think my elevation, not I think, my elevation is coming from teaching and investing. So the residential stuff will come. You know, my team can just handle that. That's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. Anybody else have any other questions? I am, I think I'm done. It's been 45 minutes. I talked longer than I thought I would. Ah, I love it. I love it. Well, I am going to sign off. I thank you all for tuning in. You are the best audience in the entire universe. You guys keep me going. And I'm so proud to be here with you today and every day thereafter. Y'all know what to do. Stay popping.